Welcome to Play to Win, where we play to win. As you can tell by the different background and the overall lower video quality, I'm actually at home today. Although we are taking a short break from gameplay videos, we didn't just want to stop coming out with content altogether. So today I want to talk about a specific package of cards that is stupid good in cEDH right now, and that is wheels. There's three main cards that are in what I consider to be this package of wheels, and that is Wheel of Fortune, Time Twister, and Windfall. The reason why I'm talking about these three in particular is because all three of these are 3 mana, and they can all net you card advantage at some point. You can argue there's a lot of other wheel cards out there that do very similar things to what these do, but it's not necessarily the same true form of card advantage. Now, Windfall's one you have to kind of rely on your opponents and where they're at with their cards in hand, but for the most part, these are still much easier to gain card advantage than off of some of these other ones. I want to talk about the decks that really feature this package prominently, and these are the decks that really tend to bring out the best of what these cards have to offer and really use them even as win conditions a lot of the time too. The first one I want to talk about is Riel, the Everwise. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Riel is really what you should call her. I have to start this whole one over. Okay. Riel is a relatively new card from Ikoria. You've probably seen her on the channel before if you're a relatively long-time viewer. We've been around for only a couple months. Do we even have long-time viewers? Can you call that something? Dylan, you texted me something about a tweet. I can't look at it right now. I'm really sorry. You're probably gonna text me and like emphasize it. The first deck I want to talk about is really kind of the bare bones in terms of the number of colors that you can use this wheel package for. Red and blue in the form of Riel, the Everwise. The discard output that Wheel of Fortune and Windfall both provide really goes well with Riel's secondary ability there. So when you cast Wheel of Fortune with her out and you go to discard for the first time in the turn, you really get to clean up the cards. What's really nice is that the wheel package is in this blue-red color combination, which has a lot of really good ways to interact with opponents. So you have all of the counter spells that you get in blue. You also get access to Underworld Breach and Lion's Eye Diamond, which alone with Wheel of Fortune is basically a win condition. The way that these wheels really show their power is with cards like Narset Parter of Veils, which is nice and in the same color combination that we need it to be for Riel. Narset only allowing your opponents to draw 1 card per turn just sets off any card advantage that they possibly could have gathered off of any of the wheels that you cast. And when you put your opponent down to 1 card instead of the 7 that they'd have, there's really not a lot of outs that they have to winning that game at that point. It really sets you ahead. This deck also gets to play some kind of like one-sided wheels like Breakthrough. A lot of these decks will also run the card Tolarian Winds too, but once you step outside of the red blue colors and you start to add other colors, you get a lot of other really cool options. If you wanted to add white to your blue-red package, you can start to play Brawlin' and Chabraz. I know Dylan just went through his whole deck tech last week, so if you missed that, go check that out after this video. Adding white also gets you a lot of really cool utility cards. You get Smothering Tithe, which is one of the best enchantments that they printed for Commander. We do get to play Narset in Brawlin' and Chabraz, but because we added white, we also get access to Alms Collector. Alms Collector acts as another Narset essentially, but can also get you more card advantage at the same time because all of your other opponents are drawing cards as well. So being able to go end of my opponent's turn, flash in an Alms Collector, and then wheel on my main phase and use the rest of my mana to empty my hand, that is an incredible amount of value right there. This deck has really made a name for itself. It's the wheel deal. If you do want to go 3 colors with a wheel deck, but you don't want to play white, you also have black as an option too. Black gets all the tutors, which are very nice, goes and gets you any of the wheels that are in your deck, but you also get access to an additional wheel in Whispering Madness, which also has Cypher, so if you ever get to Cypher this card, please let us know. One of the bigger downsides to Whispering Madness is that it is a more expensive card than the rest of the wheels that we're talking about here, but having an additional one that you can still get extra value off of from Cypher is a really handy thing to have. The biggest pull, though, to be playing black in your wheels deck is to be playing Notion Thief, and a lot of decks are named after this card in particular, specifically because of this interaction here too. With Notion Thief and a wheel, you are the only person to be drawing cards, although you do get to draw all of your opponent's cards for them. That makes it sound like you draw it out of their deck, but I feel like you get the idea. 4 colors is really where we get to start to branch out with our wheels package, and this is really where we get to see it all come together here. I'm talking Tymna Crown Opus Thief here. This is really the deck that I think kind of puts wheels on the map. You do get the 6 main cards that we were talking about here. All 3 of the wheels and all 3 of the really good synergy pieces. You also get to play Whispering Madness in this deck as well, if you do so choose. When you rely so heavily on having wheels, having as many as you can that are actually still good is good to have. So a lot of times Whispering Madness is still worth playing. What's really nice too about this color combination is that you get the Consultation Fish Lines. I guess if you want to play Grixis, you can do that too, but this is the color combination where it really can all come together in the most epic way. You can even go full 5 color and play Kennereth Returned King if you wanted to. Green does not really add a lot to the wheel package, I will say. You get to play Compost, so if there's a lot of people playing black decks out there, you can get a lot of extra advantage that way. Although even still, at times that can feel like a win more. Compost is just a good card on its own. Kennereth's ability to return creatures from the graveyard to the battlefield is actually super relevant, because if you're playing Fish Lines, you can get Thassa's Oracle back, you can get back your Notion Thief and your Alms Collector back as well. So just having extra ways to deal with other people's removal is so nice to have too. You know, the Return to Theros set really gave us a lot of good cards for cEDH. Not just Thassa's Oracle in particular, but even cards like Underworld Breach. We're seeing this card everywhere in cEDH right now, and a big part of the reason is because of how it interacts with Wheel of Fortune in particular. Wheel of Fortune and Underworld Breach, along with Lion's Eye Diamond, is this 3-card combo that essentially lets you just go through your entire deck until you can storm people out of the game, essentially. I honestly think that the printing of Underworld Breach really puts these decks a lot higher in terms of their ranking than they were prior to this. And the Flash Ban also helps these decks out a lot too. A lot of these decks also get to play cool lock pieces like Curse Totem, which is super good against so many of the creature-based strategies that are out there. The other thing that's really nice is because you are in red for all of these packages too, is that you do get to play cards like Dockside Extortionist, which is really one of the more powerful cards that people have been talking about in the meta right now too. So being able to have access to that and even get to wheel quicker is pretty nice too. The one thing that I really will say is be careful with blind wheeling. I've won a bunch of games off of someone doing a desperate Time Twister or Wheel of Fortune, being completely tapped out, coming to my turn, and then winning on the spot. There's a lot of times where that can happen, where you can really set your opponents ahead like that. Sometimes, depending on the deck and the situation you're in, I almost like to think of wheels as a combo piece, where I'm really not trying to use the combo piece until I'm actually trying to go off with Narset or Notion Thief or something like that. We've talked about a bunch of decks that you can play this wheel package in. There's probably a bunch more out there that we didn't touch upon today. What's really nice too about the wheel package is that it does not take up a lot of cards in your deck. So that alone allows you to play a lot of other good interactive pieces, or really whatever your deck needs to do to fill out. Thank you guys for letting me rant about wheels. If you want to see us do more content like this, definitely let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to check out our Patreon. Who knows, maybe some of the proceeds are going to go to me getting a decent lighting system up in here. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys next time. That might actually be a great way to end it. That's hysterical.